हाँ, धारा से कार्बन
काय बदल केला
MBA4 त्याच्यात 103
Cost analysis, perfect competition.
Those students are attending the meeting. Is this visible to all of you? The PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the cost analysis and perfect competition. Am I audible and visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, no problem. So the first thing, cost analysis. Whenever we play any kind of role at any firm or at any industry, especially when we play a role at any industry or any firm as a manager, then it is very essential to get the analysis of cost or other expenses related to the company and their management. So then it is very essential in the context of development of any firm or any industry, the cost analysis, as well as apart from that, we are needed to discuss about the revenue analysis too. The cost and revenues are very essential factors in case of financial performance or the financial status of not only in case of a bank but also every industry requires that kind of analysis. So in this context, Today we are going to discuss the different kind of concepts related to cost analysis, and then onwards, I think if we have a spare time, then we will discuss about the perfect competition. Otherwise, we will cover that perfect competition on the next lecture. Okay. So the perfect competition, it is a part of market. Basically, the market classifies into 4 categories. Theoretically, the market classifies into 4 categories. The first one category is perfect competition. Okay, so that is a type of market. It is not a type of competition. Remember that the word competition not self it divides the type of or the type of competition. It is a type of market. Okay. After the perfect competition, we will discuss about the monopoly. The monopoly market. Okay. The third one market we will discuss the monopolistic competition. Monopolistic, which combines the features of perfect competition as well as the monopoly competition. Then onwards, we will discuss the oligopoly. These are the 4 categories of market. One by one, we will discuss further. But now and today, we are going to discuss about the cost analysis. Okay. So first of all, we are needed to discuss about the concepts, basic concepts of cost analysis. So the first thing or the first concept, that is accounting cost. Accounting cost itself narrates its meaning that it reflects in the ledgers. Those costs are considered for accounting. These costs are called as a accounting cost in general meaning, which means the costs are activity which are recorded in a ledger, in a financial ledger or financial statements. So like payroll or the for production cost and marketing budgets. These are some examples of accounting cost. The 4 main components of accounting cost are material cost, then labor cost, expenses, and overhead. Okay. These are the 4 major components of accounting cost, which means apart from these components, other concepts constitutes other main components too. Accounting cost only consists these 4 major components: material, labor, expenses, and overhead charges. Okay. So these are the when we get the summation of these all kind of costs, then we get the accounting cost only. Which means apart from these main components, there are other components are to be considered in the accounting analysis or the cost analysis. Okay, which are invisible or implicit. So which are these? The other components, that part we will cover in the economic cost. But first of all, look at the formula for accounting cost. The accounting cost can be analyzed or calculated through that calculation or the formula, that is total revenue divided total revenue minus total cost. Okay. So accounting cost can be calculated that kind of equation with the help of that equation, that is total revenue. For example, the total revenue is 100 rupees and the total cost is, if for example 70 rupees, then accounting cost will become how much? Total revenue is 100 rupees, total cost is 30 rupees, then 30 rupees will become accounting cost. Okay, which means
Generally, revenue minus cost is profit, right? Still it's a cost.
yeah, it is a profit, but we are discussing about the cost. Therefore, it also considered as a accounting cost. Or it can be stated as a manufacturing plus labor, salaries, and taxes, and all kind of things which are reflected in the financial ledgers, especially. Which means other things are not mentioned or consist in the financial ledgers. The financial ledger only consists these kind of things, that is manufacturing cost, labor, salaries, taxes, and so on. Okay. So this is the accounting cost. Then next concept is economic cost. Economic cost is wide concept than accounting cost. Okay, accounting cost is related only for major components, but economic cost is wide concept than accounting cost, which constitutes number of different kind of cost concepts. Or the economic cost can be defined as a accounting cost in addition, which means economic cost comprises accounting cost plus implicit cost, or the implicit cost also called as a opportunity cost. Implicit means invisible. Implicit means invisible. There are some invisible costs. For example, मराठीत सांगतो इनविजिबल कॉस्ट कशी असते. ठीक आहे, एखादा शेतकरी समजा त्याच्या शेतावर काम करत असेल आणि त्याच्या शेतावर काम करत असताना 10 मजूर त्याच्या शेतावरती काम करत आहेत. त्याने 10 मजुरांना कामाला लावलेलं आहे आणि 10 मजुरांना कामाला लावलेलं असताना तो 11वा मजूर म्हणून तो स्वतः पण तिथे काम करतो. 10 मजुरांसोबत लवकर काम व्हावं, मजुरांना मजुरी जास्त द्यावी लागू नये म्हणून किंवा काही वेगवेगळी कारण असतील म्हणून तो स्वतः शेतकरी सुद्धा त्या मजुरांसोबत काम करतो. आता शेतकरी काय करतो, खर्च काढताना अकाउंटिंग कॉस्ट विचारात घेतो फक्त. म्हणजे काय, त्या मजुरांवर झालेला खर्च 500 रुपये मजुरी असेल तर 10 मजुरांना 5000 रुपये त्याने खर्च केला, दॅट इज अकाउंटिंग कॉस्ट. बट जी इनविजिबल कॉस्ट आहे कोणती, त्याने स्वतःची मजुरी भरलीच नाहीये, स्वतः सुद्धा मजुरी म्हणून काम करतो, पण त्या कॉस्टिंग मध्ये तो धरत नाही, दॅट इज इनविजिबल कॉस्ट. That kind of invisible cost also have a serious impact on the cost analysis or the costing of any kind of financial ledger. So therefore we are needed to discuss about the economic cost, which means economic cost not only consists the direct cost but also they consist indirect cost also. Okay, which means the accounting cost is direct cost and implicit cost are the indirect cost or opportunity cost. Okay, so basically the economic cost comprises this kind of all types of cost: total cost, variable cost, fixed cost, average cost, and marginal cost. One by one, we will have a very detailed discussion about these types of economic cost. Okay, how can we calculate the total cost? What is meant by variable cost? What is meant by fixed cost? Okay. Basically, variable cost means the expenses made on the variable factors. Any firm or any industry made some expenses on the variable factors. Variable factors means like labor, raw material, machineries are the variable factors. Is it? So whenever any firm or any industry made some expenses on these kind of factors, then it becomes variable cost, which means the cost made on variable factors considered or calculated as a variable cost. So what do you mean by fixed cost? Fixed cost means it is made on the fixed items like building, land, or any kind of technological upgradation, rationalization. Whenever any firm made the expenses on that kind of fixed assets or items, then it becomes fixed cost. Okay, so then onwards, the average cost, average itself narrates its meaning. It is the average cost. Average means the total expenses divided by number of outputs. Is it? The total expenses, if any farmer produces 10 kg or 10 ton food grain and the expenses are for example 10,000 rupees, is it? Then what will be the per ton cost? 1,000 rupees. That is average cost. Is it? And marginal cost. Marginal cost means it is a cost which made by additional unit or the additional unit of production. In detail we will session, but right now in a nutshell we have discussed the meaning of all these kind of cost. So the formula for calculating the economic cost is accounting cost plus implicit cost. Implicit means invisible. Okay. So therefore, the economic cost considered as a wide concept than accounting cost. Okay. So there is a table which is included in your book, accounting cost, okay, and economic cost. Accounting cost constitutes these kind of expenses like capital expenditure, electricity, and so on. But accounting cost not constitutes the rent and the salary. फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी जे म्हटलं होतं आता त्या शेतकऱ्याने स्वतःची मजुरी त्यात कन्सिडर केलीच नाही. तसंच जर एखादा मॅनेजर असेल त्याने त्याची स्वतःची जे काही एफर्ट्स आहेत त्यासाठीची जी काही सॅलरी असेल त्याला ती भेटते, पण त्याने अकाउंटिंग कॉस्ट मध्ये घेतलेली नसेल तर ती इकॉनॉमिक कॉस्ट होते. म्हणून अकाउंटिंग कॉस्ट आणि इकॉनॉमिक कॉस्ट मध्ये फरक पडतो. जसं की अकाउंटिंग कॉस्टची टॅली केली आपण तर 88,000 होते, 88,000, आणि इकॉनॉमिक कॉस्ट जर आपण म्हटलं तर ती 1,54,000 होते. ठीक आहे ना. तुमच्या बुक मध्ये एक एक्झाम्पल पण दिलेलं आहे त्यांनी. तुम्ही जर बुक नंबर पेज नंबर 91 जर बघितलं तर त्याचा सेकंड पॅरा आहे. तर सेकंड पॅरा मध्ये एक्झाम्पल काय आहे की if a software engineer leaves his job in a software company and starts his own software firm. Okay, so initially formed his own garage with the help of his friends whom the promises to pay 20,000 rupees. Okay, how much he ready to pay to their friends? 20,000 rupees. That is the salary to the friends. Okay, yeah. Then onwards, the initial capital investment is 60,000 rupees. The capital expenditure. Okay, that is capital expenditure for buying computers. And other expenditures are electricity 1,000 rupees. That is also reflected in the table. Internet 2,000 rupees. Internet charges. Then miscellaneous are 5,000 rupees. Okay, in the month. They made software in the first month and sold it to the company for 1 lakh rupees, which means the revenue is 1 lakh rupees. Whether the software engineer made the profit or not, it showing in the following table. Is it? So while we consider only accounting cost, then it shows that there is a 88,000 rupees. It is a cost, and the accounting profit is 12,000 rupees. Is it? Because they earn 1 lakh rupees in a month. But when they consider economic cost, which is more than accounting cost, then it shows that there is a loss, financial loss, because the implicit cost or invisible cost were not considered in accounting cost, like rent and so on. So therefore, the economic cost is very much in case of analysis of cost analysis of any kind of firm, which is shown the actual status of any firm or industry. Okay. So then next one is, the next concept is opportunity cost. It is very important thing because it is not visible directly. Opportunity cost is the next best alternatives sacrificed. For example, opportunity cost example आपल्याला सांगते की a piece of land, if any person, what is meant by opportunity cost? If a person have a piece of land and the person wanted to utilize that piece of land for construction of building or agricultural production. Okay, the person may utilize that land for construction of building or agricultural production. If the person utilizes that piece of land rather than agricultural production to the construction of building. Okay, what is the example? The person utilizes that piece of land rather than agricultural production to the construction of building. If the person gets 1 lakh rupees as a revenue from agricultural production, but the person not utilize that land for the agricultural production. The person utilizes that land for the construction of building, and through that the person gets the profit, for example 5 lakh rupees. How much? 5 lakh rupees. instead of utilization of that land for the agricultural production, the person utilizes that land for construction of building, and through that the person earns 5 lakh rupees. So in that case, the opportunity cost becomes 1 lakh rupees. How much? 1 lakh rupees. Because he sacrifices that 1 lakh rupees profit for earning more profit from alternative choices or alternative uses of that piece of land. म्हणजे त्या जमिनीचा तो शेतीच्या कारणासाठी जर त्यांनी उपयोग केला असता तर 1 लाख रुपये भेटले असते, पण तो ते न करता कन्स्ट्रक्शन साठी करतो आणि म्हणून त्यातून त्याला 5 लाख रुपये भेटतात. हे 5 लाख रुपये मिळवण्यासाठी त्याने हे 1 लाख रुपये सॅक्रिफाइस केलेले आहे. हे सॅक्रिफाइस केलेली जी अमाउंट आहे दॅट इज ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कॉस्ट. ही त्याला ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी होती. प्लस की मायनस हा भाग नाहीये, प्रॉफिट की लॉस हाही भाग नाहीये, पण ती त्याने सॅक्रिफाइस केली आहे, ती ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी लॉस्ट केली आहे आणि म्हणून दॅट इज कॉल्ड एज द ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कॉस्ट. इन अ नटशेल, the definition of cost, opportunity cost is opportunity lost is a opportunity cost. ठीक है. Very simple definition of opportunity cost म्हणजे opportunity lost केली जाते, that is becomes the cost. Okay. Again the second one example is if a person wanted to do the investment of 1 lakh rupees and he has a choice, the person has a choice to make that 1 lakh rupees investment in printing machine or to have to make the 1 lakh rupees investment into photocopy machine like Xerox machine. Is it? If a person earns 10,000 rupees per month from photocopy machine, but instead of photocopy machine, the person invested that 1 lakh rupees into printing machine, and through that the person earns 20,000 rupees per month, for example. Is it? So instead of photocopy machine, the person invested that 1 lakh rupees into printing machine. So the person earns 20,000 rupees per month. Then what become, how much the opportunity cost for that second one example? 10,000 rupees is the opportunity cost. Okay, so he lost it that opportunity, so that becomes the cost. Are you getting it? So this is the invisible or implicit cost. ही अशी डायरेक्ट लेजर वर कुठे रिफ्लेक्ट होत नाही, आपण लिहून पण ठेवत नाही अशी. समजते, लक्षात येते? अशी काही ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी लॉस्ट झाली आहे. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल मी इथे लेक्चर घ्यायला आलो, ठीक आहे, माझ्यावरून सांगतो, इथे मला काही भेटेल, त्याच्याऐवजी मला अजून दुसरीकडे कुठे समजा लेक्चर दिलं असतं तर तिथे मला तिथे लिहून भेटलं असतं. आय हॅव लॉस्ट दॅट ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी. That becomes my opportunity cost. So this is the implicit cost or indirect cost. Therefore, it is not mentioned in the accounting cost. It is comprises or it is consists into economic cost. लक्षात येते? इकॉनॉमिक कॉस्ट मध्ये ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कॉस्ट येते, जसे मी सुरुवातीच्या या स्लाइड मध्ये सांगितलेलं आहे. इथे इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट, ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कॉस्ट और इम्प्लिसिट कॉस्ट. इम्प्लिसिट म्हणजे ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी. ठीक आहे. ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी कॉस्टच्या बाबतीत काय अडचण आहे ऑनलाइन स्टुडंट्स? म्यूट केले होते. ओके, देन
ठीक आहे मध्ये वरती सगळ्यात सगळ्यात वरचं हेडर्स आहेत त्याच्यातले
40
Yes.
Is this visible that side to all of you, online students?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, no problem. So we have discussed the opportunity cost. Okay. So then onwards, we are needed to discuss the next one thing, that is short-run cost. Basically, the firm has number of types of costs on the basis of tenure or the duration. There are number of cost concepts are devised. The first one concept from these number of cost concept, that is short-run cost. Short-run cost means the cost made within a short period, or the expenses made within a very short period. Short period means it may be made on a for 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month, or not more than 6 months. Whenever a firm made such kind of expenses for 1 day, 1 month, or 6 months, then that cost considered as a short-run cost. And these expenses are made on the wages of labor, or the raw material, or the electricity bill, transport, rent, and so on. Are you getting it? So the short-term cost means the cost made for a very short period, and the short period cost comprises the expenses made on wages, raw materials, transport, electricity, stationery, and so on. Are you getting it? So it is called as a short-term cost. It is used across a limited number of end products. So this is the major thing about the short-term cost also. So if the short-term cost is narrated in that context, then vice versa, there is also a long-run cost. At the end, we will discuss the long-run cost also. The long-run cost means the cost made in a long run. For example, a cost or expenses made on construction of building, or expenses made on rationalization of technology. Rationalization means upgradation of technology of any firm or industry. Is it? Or the cost made on the capacity building of the human or the human resources, which have a long-term reflections. Okay. So the cost made on, or the expenses made on these kind of items called as a long-run cost. That part we will cover at the end of our session. But now the short-run means it is made for a very short period, within a short period, which means for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or maybe not more than 6 months. Okay, are you getting it? The cost, short-term cost. Then onwards, so now we are going to discuss about the different kind of concepts. The concepts comprises as a part of economic cost, total cost, variable cost, and so on. So among that, the first thing is total cost. Total cost, it is a summation of all kind of cost, all kind of expenses. In a general, in a nutshell, the cost incurred in producing something or in engaging in an activity. Okay, It is not as any kind of different types of cost. Whenever any industry or firm have different kind of expenses on different items, then if we have made the summation of all kind of expenses, then it becomes total cost. But theoretically, the total cost divided into basic two categories. Okay. So what are the two categories? The total variable cost TVC plus total fixed cost TFC. For example, here in our block, so the cost made on that pen, cost made on that table, not the table, that keyboard and that speaker, the camera, that bell, is it? The expenses made on these kind of items are the variable cost. Total cost means, for example, the 5 rupees pen, 100 rupees the speaker, 100 rupees that the punching machine, is it? 100, 100, 200, that 5 rupees, 205 rupees becomes total variable cost. Are you getting it? Total variable cost means the expenses made on variable things. It is variable. The pen is variable means it is changed according to the time span. Are you getting it? So what do you mean by fixed cost? Total fixed cost. Total fixed cost means the expenses made on that table, that chair, that room, is it? So then that tube lights. So expenses made on these fixed items called as a total fixed cost. Okay, if the 50,000 rupees cost is for table, 1,000 rupees for tube lights, okay, or the 1 lakh rupees expenses made on that room, okay. So 1 lakh rupees, 10,000 rupees, and 500, 1 lakh 10,100 rupees becomes the total fixed cost. Is it? When we get the addition of these all kind of cost, then it becomes total cost of that lecture. म्हणजे ह्या लेक्चर साठी खर्च किती आला तर ह्या रूमवर होणारा खर्च या ट्यूबलाइटचा तसंच फॉर एक्झाम्पल सांगतोय आणि तसंच या व्हेरिएबल आयटम्सवर झालेला खर्च ठीक आहे त्या सगळ्यांची ऍडिशन केली की आपल्याला टोटल कॉस्ट समजते कुठल्याही फर्म साठी सॅलरी असेल रॉ मटेरियल असेल किंवा बेसिक जे व्हेरिएबल थिंग्स आहेत त्याच्यावर केलेला खर्च आणि जे काही फिक्स्ड आयटम्स आहेत त्यावर केलेला खर्च या दोन्हीची ऍडिशन केली की मग टोटल कॉस्ट किती आहे हे समजतं टोटल कॉस्ट मीन्स द ऍडिशन ऑफ टीव्हीसी प्लस टीएफसी हे कॅल्क्युलेशन करायचे पुढे जाऊन आपल्याला लक्षात ठेवा टोटल टीसी मीन्स टीव्हीसी प्लस टीएफसी इथे दाखवले आहे या ग्राफ मध्ये काय दिसतंय फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट जी आहे ती कॉन्स्टंट आहे ठीक आहे युनिट्स कितीही कमी जास्त हो ठीक है units of production not affects the fixed cost. For example, if any firm wants to produce 5,000 goods in a month rather than 1,000 goods, is it? The firm requires the building. It's not affects the production units, is it? The firm requires a specific piece of land and a specific building, is it? And then then next thing is that the firm may produce 1,000 units in 1 month or 5,000 units in 1 month or 10,000 units in 1 month. It depends upon the firm policy, which means the fixed cost remains same. It's not varies according to the production units. Therefore, it is parallel to the OX axis. But the variable cost means it increasing according to the production units. If the industry wants to produce more and more units, then the variable cost also increases. For example, if any firm wants to produce textile, it also if it requires the more cotton for production of textile, is it? So then when we get the addition, then it becomes the total cost. Okay, which means the total cost increases according to the production unit, number of production unit. Fixed cost remains same, variable cost increases, and total cost also increases according to the number of units. So these are some examples of variable cost and fixed cost. the cost made on packaging, sales commissions, raw materials called as a total variable cost, which means according to the production unit, the expenses are gets changed. So therefore, it is called as a variable cost. And fixed cost means the expenses made on machinery, building, or the depreciation called as a fixed cost. याच्यात काही अडचण आहे ऑनलाईन स्टुडंट्स?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is there any doubt?
No, no, no. Not
Okay.
now.
So then onwards, the average cost, especially the average cost refers the cost per output unit. The cost per output unit called as the average cost. It is very simple. The formula itself suggests its meaning that the total cost of production divided by number of units produced. For example, the TC means total cost and Q means quantity produced. Q means quantity produced within a specific stipulated time. If the total cost is 1000 rupees and the quantity produced with the help of total cost is 20, then what will be the average cost? 1000 divided by 20. 50 rupees
50.
becomes the average cost. Is it 1000 rupees divided by 20 quantity? The average cost becomes 50. So the next concept is marginal cost, and that marginal cost have a very significant impact and a significant position in case of financial management. The marginal cost basically refers to the increase in production cost, total production cost, generated by the production of an additional product unit, which means if we consider that 20 units was produced by the company and therefore the company will have 1000 rupees total cost. Okay. If a company have, in case of we will consider the example that the company have 20 units produced and therefore the company will bear 1000 rupees as a total cost. And here additional units means if a company produces 21 units, okay, if a company produces 21 units and therefore the company is required to make the expenses up to 1100 rupees. How much? 1100 rupees. And with the help of 1100 rupees, the company produces 21 units. So here the formula says that the change in total cost, the first cost was 1000 rupees. The net change in total cost is 100 rupees. Net change in total cost means the net change 100 rupees, and then the change in quantity is
21.
Change in net change is 1. Total production is 21, but the net change is only
1.
So the marginal cost like that numerator is 100 rupees and denominator is 1. So 100 divided by 1,
100.
Marginal cost becomes 100.
100.
Is it? The marginal cost means the cost which made on the additional production unit. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever that marginal cost gets declining, then it shows that the company performing very well. The company performs very well. If instead of 100 rupees, the change in total cost is 100 rupees. Instead of 100 rupees, the company only requires to make 50 rupees for production of additional unit. if a company requires only 50 rupees for production of additional unit, then it shows that the companies perform very well. The companies have a very well technological upgradation. The company's manpower have a very well skill with themselves. Therefore, the company is able to reduce their cost for additional unit from 100 rupees to 50 rupees. So it is essential to reduce the cost. Then and then the company will have a profit in a market. So therefore, the marginal cost is very essential in case of financial performance analysis of any kind of financial performance of any company. Okay. Are you getting the marginal cost? The concept
Yeah.
of marginal cost?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Yes, okay, clear. Yeah.
So now there is a table in our textbook from page number 93. The total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost. Total cost means the addition of total cost to TFC and TVC. Total cost.
Total fixed cost, total variable cost, total cost.
Yeah. And how can we calculate the average fixed cost?
Cost divided by total.
TFC divided by output.
Output.
AFC means TFC divided by
Total very fixed cost.
yeah. AVC average cost, average variable cost.
Divided
TVC
by
divided by output.
output.
TVC divided by output. That is AVC. Then ATC average total cost.
Total cost.
Average total cost means TC divided by output. Total cost divided by output becomes ATC.
Average total cost.
Average total cost and marginal cost. Marginal cost means the change in total cost divided by change in output. Output always becomes the numerator. Denominator. Remember that output is always the denominator. Numerator means if we want to calculate AVC, then TVC numerator. If we want to calculate AFC, then TFC becomes numerator. Okay. So in this way, we can calculate the these kind of figures, and we will have a clarification about these kind of cost concepts. Okay. So the rest of the part we will cover tomorrow's lecture. Okay. So now the madam will continue the next lecture on the next day, which means tomorrow. We will have a same lecture on the cost concept, cost analysis. Then onwards we will cover the perfect competition theory. Okay. So is there any doubt about the total cost and other things, online students?
No, no, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, tomorrow, sir, what time we should connect?
हाँ बोला
Sir, tomorrow
सर
what
उद्या
time?
किती वाजता आहे लेक्चर?
काय
उद्या लेक्चर किती वाजता आहे सर?
उद्या 12 ते 1 वाजेपर्यंत आहे.
ओके सर.
आपण थोडंसं जास्त घेऊया कारण आजचाही पार्ट थोडासा अर्धा वेळ मला एक उशीर झाला. 15 मिनिटं आपण थोडंसं जास्त घेऊया उद्या आणि
चालेल चालेल सर.
आजचा आणि उद्याचा पार्ट जो आहे तो कव्हर करूया. ठीक आहे.
हो सर हो
Sir,
सर.
tomorrow we can connect in the same on the same link, or is there a different link?
So you may connect to me through the Hathi Mambiri sir only.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
माझा आवाज येतो आहे का सगळ्यांना?
Yes, yes. Your voice is clear.
हाँ बोला.
हा सर
बोला बोला.
हा स्टुडंट्सला आहे ना ती म्हणताय की कधी जॉईन व्हायचं ते तुमच्या लेक्चरचं सांगितलं तुम्ही 12 वाजता. Sessions will start at 10 AM only. Okay. आहे ती सेम लिंक विल बी कंटिन्यू. ओके.
Okay, okay, sir.
हा
ठीक है.
ओके सर थँक्यू.
Thank you.
यस. Now we will end this meeting, this session, and start a fresh session of madam.